literally hope. Trying to find my little. Here we go. I hope that this is not pixelated. I did pray before starting that I would have a good stream that is not pixelated, that goes smooth. Um, I did not forget to not put that do not disturb, so I got that on. So hopefully we good to go. But life happens. If it doesn't come out well, then I'll just try to record again. I got my spot, but somebody's parked in my spot that I know I get the good Wi-Fi's and such. So I'm over a little bit, so I don't know how this one is gonna come out. I'm sorry for all the backlit. That's all that good sunshine coming in from the back, but it's blowing out my shot. Girl, it is so much to think about when you are doing content. You got to think about the composition of your frame, the lighting. The lighting means a lot. It may not mean a lot, but when people are watching you back, they're into the lighting. They're judging you by that rather than listening to your words. You got to think about the audio. Like my air is hot. I'm in Florida and it's hot, but I got to cut the air down because if I don't cut the air down, it causes this aggravating sound throughout the video. So it's a lot that entails in making content. Um, but I try and I will keep trying. And over time, I will get better. So please forgive me. I am human and I am not perfect. And I love the fact that I'm not perfect. Now, I don't go around spewing toxicity because I'm not perfect, but I love the fact that I can admit my errors and my wrong. Like, I'm not blind to that. Like, these narcissistic relationships, they are blind and immune to what they are doing in the relationship, causing it's like you're rolling down a stream. I love analogies, and they keep pedaling the boat in the wrong direction. Literally, we need to go that way. But you keep taking the oars and paddling us down that way. And then you tell me it's my fault because we don't get to the destination. Stop steering us off course downstream or upstream when we trying to go downstream. Girl, but thank God that and I pray that God shows me myself. I've always been over self. There's the word for it. I can't think of the word. Introspective. I've always been introspective. And being in different narcissistic relationships, you become overly introspective because they make you believe that the problem is within you. So if you want to better this relationship, you need to work on you, honey. Like, so I've overly put in work to work on myself. Um, so, anyways, I was talking about last time that oh, I hope this looks so blown out, fuzzy, and uh okay, I ain't gonna worry about that. The perfectionist artist in me wants to worry about this. Gosh, see, but I really just need to get a video out and keep this content going because I'm starting to lose track over here. Okay, so where we left off, it was a bad rainstorm. So I started the story of how the second biggest narcissist in my life, how the final discard happened. Um, and it started out, I was on my way to church. If you want to hear the backstory, because I love to give you the backstory, I've always been told I talk too much, like I tell too much of the story. But I feel like if I don't give you all the bits and pieces, you can't understand the full story, right? Narcissists love to leave out a lot of things that you need to know to make a good decision, right? I like to give you all the details so you can make your own decision, right? So if you want to know the backdrop of this story, look in the description box, part 1, or this is only a video up, so you could scroll down to part 1 and see. But we were on our way to church. I hadn't went to, I'm just synopsizing, I hadn't been to church in a long time. Really wanted to go that day. Me and my daughter were basically looking forward to going to church. So on the way, my cousin calls me and I'm like, please don't answer that phone. And she answers the phone because it's the same thing. The narcissist knows when you're available and just not answering the phone. It's almost like they have some type of supernatural eyes on you. Like they can tell that you sitting by that phone, not answering that phone. Like, girl. So she answers the phone. And also, the narcissist in my life, they won't, okay, there's different responses. I would say a healthy response to someone not being available is me, honestly, I'm not gonna let the phone ring after 3 times. If your phone keep ringing, dring, 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 I feel like, oh, Keita, you literally overstepping your boundaries. The person is not answering the phone, and you just keep calling. Like you're literally letting it ring and ring and ring, like you're trying to demand they answer the phone. That's my internal thinking. So I let the phone ring 3 times, girl. Yes, I'm an overthinker. I let the phone ring 3 times. You don't answer. Okay. I'm not going to call you right back. Now, if it's an emergency, I will. If I desperately need to get in touch with you in real emergency, because narcissists will make everything an emergency. And they breadcrumb you in emergencies. I need to do a whole video about that. Like literally, they'll call me real quick. They'll never tell you what you need to call them real quick about. They leave just enough to make you do what they want you to do. So they want you to call real quick, and it don't even be nothing. Or it's so important, and it don't never really be so important. So when something so important happens, you don't even believe them because everything is so important, right? So she answers the phone because somehow that narcissist knows that we're not answering the phone, and we clearly can see that it's ringing and it's them. Okay, so I sat in the car basically riding to church. She's talking to him. She puts the thing on the voice speaker. He doesn't know that we're together. So we're riding to church. And the situation happened with, this is a whole nother story time, but my aunt, the narcissist, was living with my daughter. It wasn't working out. Her dog was doing all types of stuff, getting her notices and stuff. She telling them it's an 88 dog. 88 dogs don't act like that, girl. So the narcissistic son, which is my cousin, is trying to call my daughter to say that my narcissistic aunt and my daughter need to sit down like adults and hash it out. Okay, so that's where we are. So he says that when things happen, you try to run away from it and avoid them rather than sitting down like an adult and talking about it. And I'm like, really, like, oh, trying to hold in my ad libs to that, but I'm not even gonna bother with it. I'm being quiet. I'm on my way to church, right? So he says, your mama do that too. You got that from your mama. Meanwhile, I'm the mama and I'm sitting in the passenger seat, so I hear him. I have caught the narcissist so many times talking behind my back when they really thought they were behind my back, but they didn't know that they were really saying exactly how they feel in my face. But because the person that they are using as the flying monkey is not telling them that, hey, they can hear you, they're saying what's really truly in their heart. I have encountered that so many times. So he says, your mother does that too. You get that from your mother. And that's when I sit my seat up. Her mother do that? Yeah, you do that too. I said, well, I can't sit down and talk to your mother like an adult because she doesn't talk. She quickly overtalks you. You can't get a word in, and gets louder and louder till it escalates very quickly to an argument. I don't argue. I can't argue. I have TMJ and I have 3 herniated discs in my neck. I have 5 pitched nerves. When I get loud, talk loud, any talking really, this hurts because it's stretching my jaw. But talking loud rattles those vertebrae and gives me a bad headache in the back of my head that I can have for days. So I do not like to argue. So I can't really argue with you. Whenever I see it going left, I'm like, okay, let's just stop it there. And you can't even do that with a narcissist. You can't say, let's just stop it there. Because what the narcissist tells me is, oh, you can get out what you want to say, but you don't want to hear what I got to say. So it's like almost like you're forced into this argument, right? So me, I'm going to avoid that at all costs. So if I know that you on that tip, of course, I'm avoiding you because I cannot sit down and talk to you like an adult. So he's telling me that I need to sit down with this childish adult and talk to them like they're an adult. But yet they don't act like adult, and mentally they're not on adult level, right? And he says that, I said, how can she sit down with somebody that ain't even gonna listen? So that's when he directed it to me. He said, you do that too. I said, yeah, because you can't talk to your mother. He said, well, you do that with me. I said, yeah, because can't talk to you either. You do the same thing. You quickly, whenever it's something you don't like, you argue, you go back and forth, you don't let a person get a word in, you get quickly loud, and it's an argument now. When I don't even argue, but now I'm baited into an argument. And he's like, then that's when he started getting mad. Because he couldn't handle that truth. It is the God honest truth. I'm a very truthful person. That is the God honest truth, that I can't talk to you. And I'm telling him in this voice, I can't talk to you when I try to have any conversation, because he was talking about an instance with the cell phone bill. When I know he said an exact same thing. A narcissist would change it every time. You can pinpoint and just etch in your mind what they said. And then when you know exactly what they said, they'll say they didn't say that. And so now you're thinking you're just crazy. Your memory is just fading and bad and this and that. But you really, definitely, desperately know exactly what they said. So he does that all the time. And I'm like, no, I know you said that. He due dates on the phone bill. He would change that so many times. And I know he's changing it. But he'll say, no, it's always been that. No, baby, it ain't always been that. So I can't converse with you regularly. So I'm going to avoid conversing with you. Whenever I see you feel that way and I feel this way, I'm out. I'm not going to sit there and argue with you. So he gets mad because he doesn't want to hear that. So he quickly is getting louder. Now with my cousin, he talks very loud and starts hollering. But he said, I'm not hollering. I'm not hollering. And I'm like, clearly you're hollering. Because if you were just on the phone saying, hey child, how you doing? Your level of voice would not be that loud. All that extraness would not be there. So he's hollering. And for you to get a word, if you're going to converse with them, you have to get louder. It's like you have to step up to where they at. You're trying to conversate down here. They go from conversate, oh, something bad, I don't want to hear that. They get up here, they're arguing. You're trying to conversate, they're trying to argue. If you're going to be able to say anything, you have to jump up here to arguing. And now you're arguing, and you didn't even want to argue. That's how it goes with them. So I said, so he's now baiting me into argument. And usually I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I do that. Yep, I sure do. So then He said, see, that's how y'all are. Y'all dicks is all like that. That's how y'all are. Y'all feel like y'all better than others. Baby, if you knew me in real life, you would see how humble I am. Look at my YouTube. Do I not look humble? Like, literally, for real, I am not into all those aesthetics. I love aesthetics, but if I can't get to being aesthetically pleasing, girl, I'm finna come as I am. My stuff is not the best on the best of the best of the stuff. Like, I'm not into all that superficial stuff like they are. I'm very humble. I treat everybody with respect. I see people that other people disregard and walk past like they're nothing. I'm the humblest. I'm very humble. I'm not even gonna try to convince y'all of that because y'all don't really know me. But I know that I'm a humble, spirited person. Very humble. So for you to tell me I act like I'm better than people, like, you kidding me? If I'm any more humbler, I would be treating myself like a piece of dirt. If I get more humbler than I already am, because I'm already humble, like all the way humble. So he said, yeah, that's how y'all are. Y'all always feel like y'all better than everybody and this and that. Now, I'm not gonna say my siblings don't act like that, because they're into the superficial, they're into the exalting of self and stuff like that. So he's trying to group me in with them. Me and my siblings are night and day. You wouldn't even know we're siblings. Like, literally, if we didn't have the same facial structure, you would not know we're siblings, because we act nothing alike. Just like the narcissist and my other cousin, my cousin I love. I literally think he's a chosen one too. So a chosen one and a narcissist are brothers. They are night and freaking day. So he says, y'all act like y'all better. And I'm like, okay, whatever. You know that's not me. And you know they be reporting the wrong thing about you. You know that, because you know that is not you. I mean, they can play games and try to act like you always doing this and doing that, but deep down in the core of your heart, you do know who you are. You've questioned who you are, but you know you're not that person. You know who you are and who you are not. Just don't question yourself. Believe yourself about who you are. And I'm not saying that to narcissists, not the narcissists that feel like they're God and higher than God and do no wrong, believe that you are really that person. I'm talking about when you're a actual normal, healthy minded person that does the self work, that does introspect, that does assess other people's feelings, that does think about a situation and how it's going to affect others before they do it. Those type of people. So he says that y'all act like y'all better than everybody anyway. That's all the Dixons ever do. So I'm like, okay. I said, all y'all do, y'all get together, y'all get on the phone, talk behind everybody back. And it's so weird, like with my family, it'll be a group of people talking about behind somebody's back. And then you'll be in another group chat with the family and they talk about the other person that they was just talking about in the other group behind their back. I'm like, how do you even keep up with this? So I'm like, all y'all do is get together and talk behind everybody back anyway. And he's like, I talk behind people, but that's all you do. You talk behind people back. Girl, huh? In the background, I would question. Now, you do feel like when you're in narcissistic relationships, they close you in where you cannot state how you feel. You feel this certain type of way. You want to hash this out with them. You want to see if you're wrong or they're wrong. You're trying to figure out. Because if you are wrong, you want to check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? So for you to try to run the scenario to somebody else because you can't talk to them, they call that talking behind their back. So I'm not, and it will make you feel like you're talking behind their back because you're trying to bring the grievance to them and it's just they're not hearing your grievance, right? So it does sometimes feel like you talk behind their back. But if nothing's going on, I'm not calling someone and saying, hey, I don't like this person. Oh, he think he all that. Oh, he do this and do. That's not what I do. That's what they do. I've heard it many times. Long 2 hour, 3 hour chats Saturday morning on the phone, group chats. So he's like, yeah, so he says that y'all think y'all are better than everybody in the family. And I say that all y'all do is talk behind everybody back. Get in the group chats and talk behind people back. And this is a surprise because the narcissist usually, I don't even, like I said, how I avoid the conflict. So I usually don't really say how I feel. But sometimes I'm like a pitcher of water. It gets full and it drains over sometimes. And sometimes you would try me and I would tell you exactly how I feel. And that day, I told him that y'all don't do nothing but talk behind anybody's back. So he says, well, you talk about people too. I heard you said I'm a narcissist. I felt like someone took the biggest weight off my chest, off my shoulders, off my everything. I was so glad that it got back to him that I said he was a narcissist. Because I felt like that was my freedom, my walking papers, that I said you are a narcissist. I felt so good telling him that. Because I've been wanting to tell him. I've been figured out what the heck was wrong with him. Him and his mother for years. And I remember when he changed. He was not always a narcissist. But I remember the moment that he did change. And it was like he became a completely different person from who he was. Now, the person I was loved as my little cousin, I don't even know where that person is. It's been nothing but that narcissist ever since, right? Since 2006 or so? Somewhere in that area, 2005, 2006 is when the narcissist took over. And now I don't know where my cousin is, honestly. So I was so glad that somebody said that. Because I have been figured out. For a long time, I tell you, at 40, I cried out to God, what's wrong with me? And that's when the Lord just started revealing to me that I have a lot of bad people in my life. I have a lot of narcissistic people. That spirit of narcissism is over them, and they have been attacking me in my life. That was revealed to me at 40, and I've been revealed that I didn't even know that that's mental abuse. So I had been under years of mental abuse. This is where all my self-hate was really coming from. That and some other childhood issues that happened. But all of that accumulated to be self-hate. This is why I can't do nothing right. This is why I fail so much in life. This is why I shoot for the moon, but I never catch a star. I never do anything right. This is why I am the failure of the family. All of this has accumulated. And he started showing me it's because of the people that are in your life. Now, I already have a small circle. You can't even say it's a circle. It's almost a dot. I cut off friends because of this situation and this spirit. I cut off family. And I basically don't hang around too much of nobody. I'm a loner. I'm usually out on my own, recording my content, editing my videos, drawing, painting, thinking of songs, and thinking about my next move on my social medias, out at the park, walking, stretching, praising God, reading my Bible in my car before I get out to walk. I'm most of my time on my own. Even when I'm at work on my own. I don't sit, I don't click up, I don't chit chat. It'd be hi, bye, I might laugh with you for 2.5 minutes and then we gone. I'm busting the table, I'm greeting guests, I'm doing that. I don't be in a lot of relationships. Already my circle ain't even a circle because it's so small, right? But to have that small of a circle and have two narcissists in that circle, that's tough. That is very tough. That is very difficult. So, but I love them, and I always thought that one day they would change. They would grow out of that as they got older. They would grow out of that. My aunt, when I met my aunt when she came down to live here over like 25 years ago, she was in her late 20s, I think. Late 20s or early 30s, somewhere around there, which is still kind of young. Though I was in high school, I was a child, but I met her when she was still kind of young. Literally, from the time I met her in that late 20s, early 30s, and now she's 50 something. I'm 40 something, and I see no growth. You literally act the same that you always act, even when you were in your 20s. I see no growth, no wisdom, no nothing in your late 50s, mid to late 50s. Like, what is wrong with that picture? I now act older than you, and I am significantly younger than you. I could be the role model, but yet you were supposed to be my role model because you're my aunt, older than me. But I act older than you and have more self-control and more, like, it's crazy. So to have two narcissists in that small of a circle will wreak havoc on you. So I say you are a narcissist. And the first thing he said, I'm the narcissist. You the narcissist. I said, don't worry about it, because I know you really don't even know what narcissist means, most likely, because majority, if you be truthful, majority of us have the wrong, like, we think a narcissist is something that is really not. We watch Hollywood. We watch, what was that movie? Like, you think of a narcissist as being like on Mean Girls, or there was another movie. Dang, what was that? It's like in that high school setting where you're the most popular girl, and your side girls that be with you really don't like you, but they with you because you're popular. And when you wrong, they just ride with you until at the end of the movie they're like, "Yeah, girl, we never liked you," and this and that. You think that's a narcissist? You think it's a shallow, just over superficial looking at aesthetics, um, but that's not the core of what a narcissist is. So I said, you probably don't even really know what a narcissist is. So it's okay. So he says, you the narcissist. I know what a narcissist is. You the narcissist, which I'm sure he knows what it is because he knows everything. He knows everything, which leaves no room for growth because you already know everything. Your bucket is already full. You cannot obtain no new knowledge because you know everything. So I know you know what a narcissist is. But in my mind, I'm like, he don't even know what a narcissist is. Don't even worry about this. So from that